We're back with another Age of Mythology Retold point of view game, and today we are watching a game from the Champions League. So this is the S-tier tournament that's going on. This was from the semi-finals, and we're watching Mosca from his point of view. He is an exceptional player, played so well. He's quite a young guy, just coming into the Age of Mythology scene, really, or at least into that top level anyway. And he's showing some of these top players that he is a force to be reckoned with, and today he's up against Tunison. And why I wanted to share this one, I saw this one last night. I didn't have a chance to cast or catch many of the games, but this one I did see. And basically, for anyone that hasn't been following the tournament, for this weekend, Kronos has seemed to be the top pick, the one which everyone wants to play, and it's purely because of the Kronos Rush. The Kronos Rush previously, you would have to cancel villages for a certain amount of time. It would be roughly let's say 6 to 10 seconds, depending on your build order. And that would mean that you would be almost behind if you didn't get any damage done with the Kronos Rush. But because of the 5% extra eco that Kronos now gets, as well as Gaia and Uranos, he can hit this 3-minute uptime without building a mana and without any delay on your villagers also. So it means that it doesn't really put him that far behind either, which is pretty crazy. So this is what Mosca is going to have to defend against. And we can see what he's already done. He's started to get some sort of wall situation going on. So he's got his monument to the villagers. Probably not the one you want in a wall, to be honest, because it's got such little hack armor and such little health. But you've got to spend your time gathering the resources to actually get up to the next stage at a decent time. He's also, I think he chose to get his pickaxe a little bit late. I'm a little bit confused about why he went for that one, but I'm sure he probably wants it to get more priests out. There's a house already here, and he can put a wall here, or even just a couple more houses. His spotted deer is also just chip damaging the oracle, which is nice play. He's looking around, he's trying to get more deers in. He's trying to spot if there is a temple around to see which side the rush is going to be coming from. He knows that there's going to be a rush. It's just at this top level, this is what the guys think is the best. Looks like there's another oracle here, and is wise set. I mean, does have a decent time against the Kronos. Just getting these animals to snipe down the oracles that manage to go in the corner. It doesn't help you against the rush, but it does help you at some point. And the temple is going to come through. Now, there is some option to bring all your villagers over and chop it down and stop the rush completely, but then, I mean, that's so many villagers that you've spent doing that. He's also getting some quick walls up. If you're from AoE 2, the quick walls or the quick houses. And there it is. It was a 302, so barely any idle time for Tunison, as we said. And in come the Prometheans. They will be able to get those down. We do have a decent uptime from Mosca. He's going for a 4-minute. Temple gets deconstructed, and this is just the standard. This is exactly what Tunison wants. He wants to be putting pressure on. He doesn't necessarily want or need to kill any villagers. That isn't what he's after. He just wants you to stop getting gold, and he wants you to basically sit underneath your town center and get the goats. And this is why maybe the monument to the villagers wasn't the most ideal one. Such little hack armor that it is going to go down. But Tutankhamun and the priest in the Archaic Age, they don't really counter them very well. They've got a decent amount of damage on this Promethean, but not ideal. But he's going to be jockeying back and forth. It's like he is trying to get a bit of a wooden wall up, and the Prometheans are just going to keep coming. But one thing that these guys do have for them is they can heal each other, and they can heal each other pretty well. If you get a temple up, you can get another one to heal, and that's going to be very nice as well. And now the real damage is in, and yeah, just the micro from Mosca in this situation is so on point. Using the priest to heal up the pharaoh, because the pharaoh is the main damage dealer, really. You really don't want him to go down, otherwise I believe it's a minute that he'll go down for. And if you don't have him for a minute, then Tunison's army can just run amok. Whereas this guy's got his 13 pierce damage against normal units, and then 13 divine damage times 2.5 against the Prometheans. Absolutely massive. Oh, excuse me. And the wooden wall will be trying to go up. The houses are protecting pretty well. These are free houses for the Egyptians too. He's also doing the healing on some of these units as well. So just the micro of moving between the healing, moving between the building, and then just the damaging, making sure that you can target down the right units is so strong. And I believe Mosca, he is looking to get more heroes out. Heroes are the answer here. At some point, you do want to get a barracks down, get some spearmen out, or get some slingers. There is one villager that has gone down, which Tunison will be very happy about that one. not something Mosca really wanted to lose, but there's just so much to micro against. And this is what makes the Kronos rush kind of strong, is you don't really need to micro too heavy on the Kronos side compared to what your defender really has to do. And I believe at this stage, Mosca had a few gods to choose from. He could have gone in for his Greek, which he had, and he could have gone in for Tsukiyomi. So he decided that Set was the best option for this one. And I think it's thanks to this back and forth healing. The Pharaoh is getting so much damage, and unfortunately we can't see how much damage he's done. It's one of those kind of quirky things that happens in the replay. And sniping some Termas down very, very nicely. Is there a barracks going up? There is a barracks going up, and the monument to the villagers coming up in a more defensive spot. And it's just going to be priests, though, for the time being. The thing is that the Termas don't really have great answer for the Pharaoh. He has 30% pierce armor, and they don't really do too much, as long as the priests can keep healing them up. The issue is that Termas can snipe the priests pretty quickly. And just a huge micro on that heal manages to get him back inside the TC as well. Nice bit of garrison. These animals as well are just being a little bit annoying. They're just getting in the way. They're kind of tanking up some damage, which is nice. The Wadget getting some nice damage on this backside. And again, Mosca is going to have to run away because the Terma are just getting a little bit too strong. Did manage to get 189 gold, excuse me. So some slingers can come out. Could get another priest with this as well. Is going to want to move back over at some point. Maybe going to move over to the wood. Could also go for Wadgets. Wadgets are a fine choice. You've just got to make sure that you've got the slingers microing down the hero Terma. Then you should be fine. Basically, hero Termas aren't really the best heroes in general, just because they don't really have that much damage. But again, something like a Wadget that barely has any HP, hardly any pierce armor, it doesn't really matter what hero it is. And the Baboon of Set is going to have a look around. So there is a vision coming down. I assume the vision is just to see if the aggression is continuing. And when you see a counter barracks being chucked forward and no town center grabbed, you can assume that the aggression is carrying on. So Mosca didn't want to overreact to something where if this is the amount of Terma that are going to be built, and then that's it. This Pharaoh has, priest, yeah, we can see how easy it is to snipe a priest, but the Pharaoh is the MVP so far. He's even managing to empower the mining camp just to get a few more priests out. Promethean number, however many, it's actually going down. Interesting to see no alluvial clay to get the 3 little Prometheans, so just going straight into these Terma instead and wanting to use the Valor. Maybe thinking that one's a better option. And Tunis into the constant back and forth. The slingers are a decent option. The issue is the Terma also counter them. So just basically whoever's got more units is going to be better off there. And the Terma can kind of dictate the fight because they can run in pretty fast. The thing is that the slingers are the better defender, though. They do have extra range. So if Mosca's on it with this micro, he can kind of take one out before they even get their volley off. And if he's even quick enough, could probably dodge their arrows as well. Easier said than done. But we've seen that Mosca, he has some pretty serious micro here. Also the priest just healing up absolutely everything. And you see he is trying to dodge the arrows. I watched his stream the other day, and he this is before the tournament, and he was playing AoE 2 as well. So he's not just an Age of Mythology guy. So he's in AoE 2 where the micro is more important. Let's say, so you can get some crazy micro off. Just the constant juking back and forth. As soon as you do one shot, you move again, and also he's not just attack moving. He's trying to get rid of the heroes so that his Wadgets can just constantly fight. And the priests, I'd love to see a healing number. If you could see how, I mean, we can't see the damage either, but if you could see how much healing these priests have done. I mean, he's basically built so many extra Wadgets, so many extra slingers, so many extra pharaohs. Tutankhamun's had a fair few lives here, and now we finally do get the wall up, and Mosca with an insane defense. And Tunison now, you can assume that he's going to do something else. We can see, because we can see from Tunison's perspective, that he is going through Hyperion. But when this attack stops, you can assume he's probably gone to the next stage, or he grabbed this town center, or something along those lines. What Mosca can do is get this upgrade here, as his temple is kind of busy, but you can get that upgrade here to get free a free vision. We get the nice priest upgrade. So the priest upgrade, what does it give you? It gives you extra range. So is going to help a little bit. Would have been nice earlier on, but it's kind of like, do you want an extra priest or do you want the upgrade to make them slightly better? The priests were kind of heal bots there, and now Mosca just needs to decide what he wants to do. So he can decide to go to the next stage himself. The issue is, what does that really give you as set? You're not a Ra or Isis that really wants to go into those Migdal units, especially as you've been kind of committed to making so many barracks units. So the best thing that he can really get from going there is if he goes Sekhmet, he can get the upgrades for the slingers to make them better against Mamillos, but we haven't seen any Mamillos yet, so maybe that isn't the call. Or he can go the other way, go through Nepthys, get some good hero upgrades. If you see some Satyrs, pretty big chaos there, and a Shifting Sands is going to respond. It was that, so Shifting Sands was a little bit late. What you can do, I probably can't press it now because it's on cooldown, but you just need to hit F2 or whatever your button is and just do it super, super quick. Just boom, boom. Don't even care where the units are going. They're just not in range of those units anymore, and then the priest can heal up. But still, didn't lose too many slingers. I think he probably lost probably about the same again. It was probably like 8 to 10 slingers that he lost there, so not ideal. But from going up to the next stage, I think Mosca just wants to sit inside this classical age and just build up his classical units. He doesn't really get much from that, and then he would also need to push out for a second gold mine, which even the god powers from going up to the next stage just doesn't really help. Maybe ancestors can help push out, but it's just better to just get a few spearmen out, get a few slingers out, and he's going to need to do that. I also love the call for empowering the gold mine, because you don't have much gold, so the most you can get out of this, the pharaoh boosts the gold, so you're basically getting more than you have in this gold mine, and it's always a good way to play. And now it looks like pure spearmen. We're getting electron bullets, which is the divine damage, so the true damage for the slingers, which is going to make them pretty good. They're still going to be good against the Mamillos anyway. And then medium spearmen and the very nice copper armor. The copper series of weapons, especially for the Egyptian classical armies, are so good. There are some Satyrs in, but the priests, they do have the upgrade for extra range, so they should be able to match the range. Actually, they're kind of 4 down, but Satyrs will go down so quick to these divine damage boys. And the spearmen, they don't trade too badly into those Mamillos. They are Kronos Mamillos, so they don't have that extra poison damage. So normal spearmen aren't too bad. Obviously, ideally, you would want axemen, but the medium spearmen, they also have decent pierce armor here, whereas the axeman pierce armor is awful. Now, Mosca, he does need to get this next gold mine, and there's an oracle really nicely placed from Tunison, so he knows exactly what is going on. Also trying to get this granary here. But this is why you say classical age. You always got to think about what your next move is, and Mosca wanted to get at least a decent amount of population here. And looking at this army, I mean, Mosca's in a pretty good spot. He's got so many units, so many priests to heal up some of the units, and that means he is going to be able to get this gold mine. He's also limiting the Satyr numbers really nicely. That's something that you really do need to do as the set or as the Egyptian player, is snipe them as and when they come out. If you see that they have 2, just try and snipe down the 2, because although 2 Satyrs are good or 3 Satyrs are good, the issue is when you get to a mass of them, where you get like 6 or 7 Satyrs. We've seen it from Kavoth quite a few times when I've seen him play Aranos. He just gets out so many of these Satyrs, and he can just walk forward, chaos your units, use one special, and take out basically all your units or make them so low HP. Jinson's oracles are in really good spots to see what's going on at Moscow. He is trying to go for lots of punch, and he respects the oracle and thinks that he can't really see what's going on. He doesn't want to lose 6 villagers, and he wants to stick together, so he is just going to hunt over here. Normally you don't want this many hunting, but it's just better to keep your units together, because your units, they're not the fastest. I mean, the spearmen could probably run over, which is fine, but they're just going to get melted by all those Satyrs. The priests would take way too long to come over, so it's just better to come back. He's also kind of shift-clicking back with his gold miners, because he doesn't want to lose those. So always a nice play to do is, if you're moving off for just a second, is just right click and then shift click back, and then they're off for a X amount of time. Once you've done it quite a few times, you can work out how long that would be till they're back, and Mosca is doing that, and he just keeps running back because his units aren't actually here yet. He needs to wait for those, and wants to go in. There is a lot of hero Mamillos, and how many Axemen are there? There's 6 Axemen. The Axemen could actually get onto those heroes, and he's going to do pretty well. Pharaoh could be used to come into the fray here, and yeah, he's been shift-clicked onto all those Satyrs. Nice pullback micro, though, from Tunison, which means that the shift-click won't really go on, or it will pull the Pharaoh so far away. But this is exactly the kind of fight that the classical Egyptian player wants. He wants to be in a full population scrap because the classical Egyptian units are just so damn strong. Also, Tunison spent those resources going up to the next stage. He does have heavy Mamillo, though, so his units were a little bit stronger, but just the sheer mass of the set units are just way too much. And he has all those copper upgrades, whereas does Tunison have any? No. So medium with the copper upgrades is so similar to heavy anyway. And the Satyr is going to live with 25 HP, but there's no way to heal that bad boy back up. So any damage that Mosca gets done, he's going to be very, very happy with. And it's just so far, he's just been a masterclass in just defending the Kronos onslaught, basically. Laborers coming up here, even the granary. I thought he was going to put the granary right in the corner there and then kind of lure the boars in, but he decides to put it here and then put a wall up for a bit of extra safety. Always a nice play. Could even come over here, put an obelisk up. Mosca's been pretty good with his obelisks as and when you can put them down. So the thing about the Egyptians is they can see so much of the map, but you need to be not locked in your base. The priests can't just go wandering when you're under pressure because they're slow. If they get picked off, well, if they get seen, they get picked off. They're just ridiculously slow, so got to watch out for that one. And it looks like Mosca, he wants to get up to full pop before getting up to the next stage. What's he got back here? So there are some bears here and an oracle. I don't know whether we spotted that oracle. It was only there for a couple of seconds. Oh, does see a military barracks being put back there. Whether or not he sees that one, because it's kind of a place you might not really check. Mamillo's coming for that granary, but it's a nice play from Tunison to get a military barracks back here. Could just get a couple Mamillos, garrison inside, and then take down the laborers. So Mosca needs to be paying attention to that one. Hasn't seen it just yet. Well, hasn't reacted to it anyway. And the spearman, okay, now he's seen it. Now he reacts to it. He goes, no, we're just going to move away from that. Don't want to get caught out from, I don't know, a Mamillo, a Cantarius coming through. Don't want to be dealing with that one. And he does have a nice wall here where he can just build a gate. And if he's attacked on this hunt spot, he can just walk through the gate. Be absolutely fine. Now, these spearmen are off hunting oracles. This is what they're there for. And he has spotted one nicely. Just sends one. Wants to send the rest of the 3 in case he needs to go for it. There could be a Valor to save this guy, but I believe a spearman should be able to beat a hero oracle anyway. And it was the Cantarius that were going to come through. But no overreaction from Mosca. Just sent his villagers up here and then 2 spearmen to come and defend the 2 Cantarius that we saw. So again, nice play. Nephthys is going to come through, so he's going to have a nice Ancestors to use as another pushback. You can also just get the hero upgrades, get the ones to make your priests heal faster, because he's been really relying on that healing. And one of my favorite upgrades is the, especially when you go this classical army, is, what is it called? It's called Funeral Rites. I believe that is the one. They have changed the names in Retold, and for some reason it's been a year and I'm still confused. But I believe Funeral Rites is the one where you get 8 gold when one of your units dies. And when you go classical army, they're so cheap anyway. You got 30 gold here. We've got that's another axeman. We've got 25 gold here, and I'm sure there's a slinger somewhere that I can't find. But what do they cost? 25. So they're all so low. So you kind of get half, or let's say a third of the gold back for each one that dies, which is so nice when you go into these big classical fights. But what he's going for, he wanted the next stage for 2 things, which is heavy axeman, heavy spearman. Then he feels that he can take a fight and push back and get this gold mine. And he hasn't been on gold since he clicked up. So it's just, he really doesn't want to lose any villagers. Just move back. You can even sell the wood if he wants to. He has been selling the wood too. That's a terrible rate to sell them at. So it shows that he's sent all his villagers to wood, sold that wood, and now he's getting Nebti, which is the pharaoh and priest, do more damage to those satyrs. Another great upgrade. I think Nephthys is such a strong heroic age god. My favorite for sure. When playing Isis, a satyr gets caught out. That was a low HP satyr from earlier, and Mosca can take this fight. The issue is he is going to be up against a chaos, and we can see from Tunison's perspective that he does have this amount. But you can just assume that the Kronos probably has enough for Chaos. It's something that he really wants to use. We haven't seen any more Satyr numbers since they've all gone down. So he's obviously banking up that favor for something. I don't believe it's worth shifting Sansing if you get Chaos on the whole army, because the army is so large now and pretty tanky with those heavy upgrades, with those armory upgrades, that they shouldn't do that much damage to themselves. I assume we're going to see it here. Does use it just on the backline, which is a nice play from Tunison. So it does last a little bit longer, but still it doesn't last an incredibly long time. So nice play for Mosca. And the minions are going to come through to help this fight out. And this is just, again, the classical units, the absolute swarm, just the full population army of them, with the priest sitting in the back on that heal. Basically, I think he was manually tasking that heal. You can change this to auto heal. You just right click this guy if that's what you want to do, and they'll just sit back and auto heal. And it looks like Mosca did get the better of that trade, and he's just got pure axemen in his queue. I guess he just feels like he doesn't have enough axemen here. Even against the Kantarius, they're not the worst because they just have so much hack armor. Obviously, the Kantarius in a 1v1 do win that one. But just having just a sheer volume of them, so strong. And now we see the siege towers coming in, and Funeral Rites, Spirit of March, both pre-queued Funeral Rites will be coming in first, which is the nice gold increase. Also, not spending any resources on getting a Migdal Stronghold up. Feels like he doesn't need that one. A little raid from this heavy Mamillo. The heavy unit raids, even when you just have one or two, it'll be so annoying. Very difficult to shank back as the villagers, even with their survival equipment on. And again, it's just something that Mosca's done quite a few times. He's happy to just leave his villagers all together, even if it's less ideal, let's say. But he does have the Migdal Stronghold up down here. So you've got a Migdal. Why not? Could even grab this town center if he really wants to. He's at full population, so needs it for just the extra population of more axemen, more slingers, even a war elephant. I think this is definitely something missing when you go for these Isis and Set kind of, or even Ra, the kind of classical fight into the heroic age. Just get one or two war elephants or plus one or two siege towers. It really helps you push. Especially with Nephthys, with these heroes that can heal up so nicely. You can just keep healing the war elephant, just manually task them to actually do that one. And he can tank for quite a while. So he's got 60% pierce armor, 500 health. So strong. And now Mosca, thanks to his just insane defense earlier, can just push back now. Now, I think Spirit of March was just cancelled there. Yeah, deciding he doesn't want that one because actually he wants to go up to the next stage. He wants to go through Horus. And Horus brings everything. Brings the tornado that he can use, but more importantly, brings those upgrades to the Axeman and the Spearman. So those are the ones where they get extra HP, they get extra speed, and then the Axeman, they get extra damage as well. It'd be absolutely huge if he wants to stick to this classical army, which, I mean, you can just see he just definitely does. Tunison coming back in, he just keeps trying to fight this one. Feels like he now has the units. Does have the medium Arcus on the back, but the slingers shift-click micro again, just on those. Nice pullback, trying to get that kind of shoot and scoot situation off. The Wadgets in the backline, though, they're just not being touched. There's no hero units from Tunison, or at least if there was, they went down pretty quick. They got focused down. And the destroyers, while they seem like a decent option versus the slingers, versus the chariot archers, they just get carved up by these axemen. The axemen too strong to heal up this war elephant before going. But looks like Mosca doesn't want to wait. He just wants to go. Could also sell some food, depending on what the market situation is. Could sell a bit of food to get up to the next stage. These spearmen are still hunting for those oracles. Wants to put a stop to him getting any hero units out. So the war elephant, is he going to get caught out? He is going to go down, I think. Oh. Potentially. 5 HP. 5 HP war elephant and a dream. Should be able to get this boy out. He's just going to sacrifice the siege tower, unfortunately. Siege towers are so expensive. You can also heal these guys up. You don't need to repair them. You just heal them with your heroes. And it's absolutely fine. Now Horus on the way. He's going to wait for that Horus for sure. Get some more upgrades in. Heal up the boys. And it's going to be another push coming at some point. Tunison's always been ahead on those villagers, though. Just Mosca's winning every fight. So Mosca wants his extra town center. It's been found by one hero, Contarius, and we said about those hero or those heavy units when they come in. There could just be a couple more heavy units, can be pretty scary, and they are going to come through. We see the granary spots them. There's so many. I think the Mosca units are going to have to run away, and this is where Tunison's army really shines. They're so fast with these heavy Contarius. He's going to be able to get the town center up. He's got 4 seconds left on it. 3 seconds. Should be able to get this one up, but how many villagers does he lose? Did lose about 5 villagers there, which is not ideal, but does manage to get that one. His army is still looking scary, but I mean, it's so slow, so it won't be able to catch out these Contarius. Tunison will just run past. No problems at all. And now the Spearmen. Enough Axemen into the Spearmen. Fortified TCs. We'll get up to that 235 population, and in 30 seconds, 25 seconds or so, a Horus Tornado will be on the cards. I assume the gold's getting gathered from here. There's 1,300 left in that position. And I think Mosca's just going for it now. He wants to hit that timing. There is another Chaos. You could Shifting Sands away, but again, on these kind of more upgraded units with more armor, they don't do that much damage to each other. It's not as strong as it is early on. And the Siege Tower trying to get through to that palace, and there will be a big fat tornado coming through. It will just be dropped straight on the army. Looks like it does get dropped on the army. Nice reaction from Tunison, though. Pulls it away pretty quick. Couple of villagers goes down, but this whole position is going to go, and there's quite a few military barracks there. I'm not sure what Tunison's population was kind of like there, or how many buildings he had, but this is a pretty big blow. These are quite expensive buildings because they cost gold for Atlanteans too. When it comes to the Avenger, and these are the upgrades. So greatest of the 50, extra hit points, extra speed. Then Spear of Horus is the Spearmen do more damage, especially versus cavalry. And then we have the Axemen do more damage as they lose HP, isn't it? As they lose HP, and they do more damage versus buildings. So you don't need as many siege weapons. And in come the Spearmen raids on this situation. And Mosca is now just in such a good position. He's also splitting his units up very nicely because one option for Tunison, which we see him going, is going through Atlas and actually getting that implode off. And when the implode comes in, it can be it can pick off an entire army, really. Maybe not of champion units, but this backline could be decimated. So splitting up the army, going on raids this side, sending the majority of the units up this top side. Actually, the settlement wasn't grabbed from Tunison. And trying to get a forward Migdal stronghold up. I assume the implode is going to come this side. It does. Mosca reacted to it before it even came down. He thought it was also going there. And I think so many of these units are going to get pulled in. But it's just doing enough on this side that probably shouldn't be that much of a big deal. Does the palace go down? Does it do damage to the palace? It does. It does damage to your own stuff. So using it defensively is not ideal. Tunison tried to repair it. And if this Avenger can manage to sneak through, he does so much damage with his spinning. Ooh. And that's how we're going to end it. Mosca does manage to pull off one of the best Kronos defenses, or defenses against the Kronos rush that I've ever seen, to be honest. So well played to Mosca. He'll be playing in the tournament more. I'll link Boyd's stuff because he's casting the tournament. It's his tournament. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed and see you in the next one.